The facts are shocking when it comes to child sexual abuse. 1 in 4 girls and 1 in 7 boys will be abused by the age of 18.
New legislation being introduced in Michigan would help prevent the sexual abuse of children. In St. Joseph today, Republican State Senator John Prose joined with Erin at the Berrien County Council for Children to help raise awareness about sexual abuse. Erin's a sexual abuse survivor from Illinois. Her advocacy led to the passage of Erin's Law, protecting children in 4 states, including Indiana. Both Erin and Senator Prose will testify at a health policy committee tomorrow in Lansing, hoping to help pass Erin's Law in Michigan.
So I decided to go on this crusade of getting legislation passed that requires schools to teach kids on safe touch, on safe secrets, on how to get away, on how to tell today, and how to speak up about this in age-appropriate ways through curriculum.
As part of the legislation, schools would adopt curriculum, train school workers on child sex abuse, and adopt policies concerning informing parents on the warning signs of abuse. If passed, it could go into law for the 2013-2014 school year.
I appreciate very much my colleagues taking up these bills, Mr. Chairman. I know time is short, and I think that the testimony that Erin will provide today will give great context to the purpose of these bills that my colleagues on the committee and myself have sponsored. So with that, I'd like to introduce Erin, who will give a little bit of background on the purposes for us discussing Erin's Law today. Erin?
Thanks, Senator Prose. I appreciate your time today. I'm here to talk to you about a very delicate issue that society often sweeps under the rug and we pretend it doesn't exist. But I guarantee every single one of you in this room knows somebody that has been affected by this. Even if you don't know this person, someone in your life has been affected by sexual abuse, the way I was in my childhood. If you were to look at these pictures of me, happy, smiling, as a young little girl, 6, 7, 8, 11, 12, 13, you'd never know the horror I was enduring in my childhood. From 6, 7, and 8, I was sexually abused and raped at the hands of a neighbor up the street from me, my best friend's uncle who lived in the home. Did I go home and tell? No, I didn't. I kept it a secret, threatened that he would come get me. He knew where I lived. I kept that silence, was labeled BD, emotional disturbed, given an IEP in the schools. Nobody was asking those important questions. Safe touch, safe secrets, unsafe secrets. I was being trained on tornado drills, bus drills, fire drills. I knew how to run out of a burning building, but I didn't know how to tell the secrets I was keeping as a young child. I moved at 8.5 years old, only to get that much closer to the next perpetrator in my life. Somebody I loved and trusted. A family member. At 11 years old, I woke up to my older teenage cousin with his hands down my pants. I'll never forget this moment trying to convince myself it was all a bad dream. It really didn't happen. But that nightmare continued. 11, 12, 13, family gatherings, holidays, even while I babysat my little cousins. Threatened, this is our little secret. No one will believe you. If you tell anybody, you will destroy this family. Erin, you have no proof. So I stayed silent. And while I stayed in this silence, I kept my secrets locked away in my little childhood diary. And I'm just going to read to you one little thing I wrote in this little childhood diary. Just after being abused, I sobbed the whole way home. Over and over in my head, I thought about what just happened. In school, a guy called Officer Friendly teaches us about stranger danger, never to answer the door when my parents are gone. I thought people like Brian jumped out of bushes and attacked you at night. You see, we teach kids about stranger danger, yet 93% of the time, children are sexually abused by somebody they love and trust. Yet we focus and zone so much in on stranger danger in our society. In 6th grade, I went through the DARE program, graduated as a little DARE graduate. And when you graduated, you learned the 8 ways to say no to drugs. But I stand here today and ask you, where were the 8 ways on how to get away and how to tell today? I decided to put that shame, the stigma, and be a voice for those who are too afraid to come forward. The voice for those of people you yourself know that have yet to speak up about this horrific crime that goes in, day out, that is going on right now in our own backyards, in our own communities. I decided to go after this law because we need to educate and empower kids through age-appropriate curriculum, research-based, that will give kids the tools and knowledge on how to tell and keep their perpetrators from abusing them ever again, from abusing more children. For example, the Sandusky case. So many children could have been saved in that situation. We cannot leave this up to all the adults. Look at how many adults there, from a coach, a president of a university, that continue to allow this to go on for 10 more years, seeing this man around children 10 years after it was reported. I wish we can just leave it up to the adults, but we can't, because we have adults that do not do the right thing. That's why we need to empower kids with their voice to tell, and to continue to tell until it stops. And in the end, the kids end up being the heroes, because they're saving another child's life from becoming the next victim from this evil, silent epidemic. I hope you will see the importance in this and help me in making Michigan be the 5th state to pass this as I go across this country on a crusade to get all 50 states, and will not stop. I'm determined and will not stop until all 50 states have passed this law, and I will get it done. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I think her testimony speaks loud and clear about the challenge that we face in our communities and in our families, and the need for us to address the silent epidemic, as she called it. Erin is one that managed to pick up the pieces, as you so rightly said, Mr. Chairman, and is making a positive out of what is a horrific negative to herself and to her family and to all that are impacted by this in the community. The difference here is she's trying to make a difference, and she's to be commended for that. It is an incredibly destructive and damaging sort of situation when 1 in 4 girls and 1 in 7 boys, by the time they're 18 years old, are victims of sexual abuse. The numbers are staggering, and it's important that we as a legislature put together the right public policy with my colleagues and with you, Mr. Chairman, to make sure that we put an end to this.